I've seen the Tarzans come and go in the NFL, and you guys see it all the time. You're like, man, this guy looks like he should make the team,
right?
And then all of a sudden he doesn't. You're saying, what happened? Well, he couldn't remember the play. His reaction time was bad. Something was going on where it wasn't clicking in his brain. It's just what we talked about. If you can't,
was
take
Heath
that
kind
new
of that
language,
way?
Who's that?
Heath.
Heath? I'm not gonna say anything, but Heath was a great guy.
Yeah, did you guys get along when it was all said and done? Or
well, we did as much as we could, just because we're competing for the same spot,
right?
And it's not like there's 3 quarterbacks on the field, like there's 3 receivers or 5 linemen.
Right.
We're competing for the same spot. He was way up here. I was way down here.
Right.
I was with you guys.
In terms of draft status.
Right. When you guys started,
right.
That's where I was when, and now look where you are. And I was able to go on and play. And it was a healthy competition. We tried to keep it as copacetic as possible.
Where did he stand with you physically in terms of like physical skills? Did you feel like you guys were similar? I mean, he could run.
Yeah, he could run way better. He was like a deer.
Right.
I was like a rhinoceros out there. But
right. What about arm talent?
Yeah.
Did you think your arm talent was clearly better than his?
I wouldn't say clearly. He could spin it pretty well.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I just felt like I was more of a pocket guy. He was more of a scrambler.
Right.
He was kind of the start to how things are now.
Right.
With a lot of the quarterbacks. And, the rules have changed so much with the CBA that I could really just go out and practice as much. Cam Cameron and I would just go out day after day after day and make every throw. And I would do it as much as I could because I knew that's the only way
I was going to be good. And were the other quarterbacks doing that? Without naming names?
I don't know. I mean, you have John Freeze, who was a wily old vet, didn't have to really do that as much anymore. For me, it was learning how to really produce in Norv's offense, throwing comebacks, throwing deep digs. And Henry Ellard was really the one that helped me in practice and helped me learn how to anticipate and throw balls early.
Speaking of Norv's offense, Cam Newton's in Norv's offense and started off the year playing really well. And apparently he's got a shoulder injury and hasn't been playing well of late. Like, how difficult of a decision do you think it is for the team as to whether to keep putting Cam out there?
Well, how many? What'd they lose? 7, 8 straight?
9. Oh yeah.
I don't know. You know what I mean?
Yeah, 5 or 6 in a row.
I thought you were the stats guy, so I just didn't throw that at you. But no, I think that's difficult because Cam is your leader. He's the guy out there, but then you gotta produce. You got to win games, and that's what it's all about. And watching the game last night, I was over at Mission, right here around the corner, and watching the game and just seeing Norv's face in the booth, and I'm like, I've seen that face before.
Did you like playing for Norv? He was always thought of as a player's coach, right?
I don't know if he really was.
Really?
Yeah. I thought he was a good play caller, and I don't think he was a great players coach at all.
No. Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't think he was at all. I think he was a very nice person.
Yeah, because I always knew him as such a nice guy. So
he is a nice guy,
right.
But he doesn't have the Cajones to like manage the team and treat everybody as equal. And guys that were louder than the other guys, he kind of kowtowed to them. And like you to run a team, it all starts in the locker room.
You got to be more alpha male.
Well, I'll give you a real quick example.
Yeah.
I was a rookie. He said, no, I was second year, I think. He goes, this is your team. Get in a huddle. Whatever you say goes. All right. And then I'm like, oh, great. Now I can just go out and somebody screwing up, say, hey, coach, whatever, kick him out of the huddle. So that happens in practice, right? So this he wouldn't stop talking in the huddle.
Who's the guy?
Oh, God, I can't remember.
Right.
It wasn't Trey Johnson because he would absolutely sit on me and crush me if I said his name.
And he still lives in the area.
Trey's still in the area.
I know.
Yeah,
but I can't remember. It wasn't Trey, but it was another guard.
One of the guys on the line.
One of the guys on the line. They were having a problem, and they wouldn't shut up, and I'm just trying to get him to listen to me so we call the play.
Right.
And so I said, dude, just get out of the huddle. Like, give me somebody else, right? And Norv goes, no, leave him in there. We need him for this play. And because we're running a pool or something.
Right.
And I'm like, really? You're going to just cut me down right here in front of all the guys like that?
Right.
And that's kind of how it was for me.
So conversely, you're on 7 teams. Who do you think was the best coach you dealt with?
I had a
and why?
Well, I had a lot of great coaches. Had some bad coaches. I would say my head coaches weren't always necessarily my favorite coaches, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because I didn't deal with them a lot. Some of my favorite coaches were my quarterback coaches that I dealt with, or offensive coordinators. If they weren't the head coach, So like Scott Linehan and I got along great. We were together for about 6 years.
He's getting
guys
a
are
lot of
all
heat
st-
now.
by the
He's
way,
getting a lot of heat.
These
Yeah.
guys are all still around.
Oh, yeah.
Right. And
Lifers.
just think about that. Like you can coach if you're in the NFL, you can coach forever, right?
Right.
Players, you get a. I mean, I was lucky. I played 15 years, and
Outlier.
right, and that doesn't happen. You know, there's very few people. We see it on ESPN and all this stuff, and you guys talk about it, but in reality, guys don't play that long. But coaches are around for a long time if they're good and they've shown a way to produce out there. Scott was great. Cam Cameron was great. I had Jim Zorn one year. He and I went back and forth, but he was a good teacher. Kenny Anderson was one of my favorites.
But you liked Zorny as a teacher, as a quarterback's coach or whatever. As a head coach, it didn't go so well for him.
Right, because those things don't always translate. I think that's kind of what happened with Norv, too.
Right.
You know, he was a good friend. He was good as the coach. But then all of a sudden, when you're a head coach, just think about all the other stuff you got to do. You know, he's got to all of a sudden deal with the general manager, deal with the owner, deal with
Media.
marketing, media, and make sure he's got to make sure that all 53 players are doing the right thing, not just his quarterback.